It was a bright summer afternoon in Washington. Donald Trump, dressed in a crisp white shirt and red tie, had just finished a meeting at the Capitol. As he walked down the National Mall, taking in the sights, he noticed a group of young students gathered around a small, makeshift lemonade stand. Intrigued, he paused and approached the stand, much to the surprise of the children and their teacher. The stand was decorated with colorful signs that read, "Support our school science club" and "Every cup helps." The students, no older than 10 or 11, were eagerly serving lemonade to passers-by. Trump leaned down slightly and smiled. "What's this all about?" he asked. One of the kids, a boy named Ethan, stepped forward nervously. "We're trying to raise money for a new telescope for our science club. Our old one is broken, and we can't afford a new one." Trump's expression softened. "A telescope, huh? That's for looking at the stars, right?" "Yes, sir," Ethan said enthusiastically. "We want to study the planets and maybe even discover something new." Trump nodded thoughtfully and reached into his pocket, pulling out his wallet. "How much is a cup of lemonade?" 50 cents, another student replied shyly. Trump handed them a crisp $100 bill. "I'll take one cup, but I want the change to go toward your telescope." The kids stared in disbelief, and their teacher, Miss Carter, stepped forward. "Thank you so much, Mr. Trump," she said. "This means the world to these kids." But Trump wasn't done. He took a sip of the lemonade and smiled. "This is great lemonade. Who made it?" The kids all pointed to a girl named Lily, who blushed and said, "It was my grandma's recipe." "Well, Lily, you've got a real talent here," Trump said. "Maybe one day you'll own a lemonade company." Lily giggled, and the group burst into laughter. But Trump's mind was already racing. He pulled out his phone and called his assistant, Margaret. "Margaret, find out what kind of telescope this science club needs and have it delivered to their school. Also, see if we can arrange a visit to the National Air and Space Museum for these kids." Margaret responded quickly. "Consider it done, Mr. Trump." The kids were overjoyed, and their teacher was nearly in tears. "Mr. Trump, I don't know how to thank you," Miss Carter said. "Just make sure these kids keep dreaming big," Trump replied. "Who knows? One of them might become an astronaut someday." A few weeks later, the students received their new telescope, along with an invitation to the National Air and Space Museum. Trump made sure to attend their visit, taking the time to speak with each child and encouraging them to reach for the stars, literally. At the museum, Ethan approached Trump with a beaming smile. "Mr. Trump, we named the telescope after you. It's called the Trump Star Explorer." Trump chuckled. "Well, that's an honor. I can't wait to hear about all the discoveries you make with it." As the day ended, the children and their teacher waved goodbye, their faces lit with hope and excitement. Trump watched them leave, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Sometimes, he thought, the smallest gestures can inspire the biggest dreams. And with that, Trump turned and walked back toward his car, ready to tackle the next challenge, but carrying the warmth of the day with him. The smiles on those kids' faces were worth more than any business deal, reminding him that investing in the future always pays off.